Alright, apparently we're back now. We've got some audio and I'll jump in on comms here just as Clarence had been awarded a 50-metre penalty here, which will make an absolute certainty if this goal backs to Norton. He slots it home from metre out and it's a perfect start here for the Roos. 2-1-13. Kingborough yet to score. They've done all the attacking in the opening moments of this one and have a 13-point lead to show for it. No win to speak of this week, so certainly no end being favoured like last weekend where we had the, well, almost farcical at times scenes played in a bit of a hurricane basically. So I think we're still battling a few sound gremlins, but seem to be getting on top of it anyway. Back to the middle we go with the Roos firmly on top here early on. Green and Tompkinson, neither can win it down. Tompkinson gathers, had two players draped over him. Lovell tries to get free, he's handballed straight up in the air. Ryan brought down there by Brereton. So a quick clear and kick forward. Can the Tigers get something going in attack here? Almost reeled in there. College applying some pressure, but the Roos by hand look to charge off half back. Worsbell under some pressure. Howlett. And he's just scored it across the line. So towards the wing it's work, spinning away Tremaine, got a handball there, Reardon interjecting, now Lovell will try and send them forward. He spins through the contest, just got his handball away in time, and the tackle is applied by Howlett. So the Roos from half back. Norton sweeps it across. A little switching play to try opens thing up here. Fisher getting into a little bit of trouble. Recovered the situation though, Harry Fisher. Slams it on the boot and sends it up the wing. And a fairly blatant push out, I thought there, but into the side, says the umpire. And Alones will be paid the mark on centre wing. He sends the Roos further down the line. That wasn't a great kick though. Over the head of pressure and out of play. So Donnelly at full back, chipping short here to Griggs. Griggs steers it into Lovell. Kieran Lovell with some room to manoeuvre here. The star wheels and sells the little candy and takes off and sends them forwards. Looking for Carter. Taking front position though was Howard. Defended the situation well. Tigers first to it. Carter back in. Scoops a handball to Lovell who's following up. Weaving one way then the other. Turns back onto his right and picks out Webb at half forwards. So Webb. Take a kick from just about 50. And he goes back and smashes it through the middle. What a kick that was from James Webb. With authority, he drives it through. The Tigers get their first of the afternoon. Boy, did they need that. They've been jumped here by the Roos in the opening moments, but just settling down with a goal there as a scrap breaks out on the wing. Donnelly and Keegan Ryan going at it. So, Holmes rucking against Gardner now. Gardner with the double palm down. Clearance straight to a Kingborough player. Lovell following up. Buffer offered by Holmes. Going back in after it, the goal kicker Webb. They try and break through, but Norton with a tackle that will bring that to a halt. The ball up at half forward here. And the umpire might have just spotted one off the ball. There's been Plenty of little swap flies breaking out off the ball early on in this one. A bit of fight of this contest early as the Roos drive it deep inside forward 50. Donnelly ran it the whole way. And he gets up and takes the mark. Relieve the pressure there. Just read the flight better than anyone else in that contest. Pulls the kick a little and he finds Eddie Cole. Cole with some quick hands, pretty slick. Over the top to Webb, returned it to Cole again with the fast hands. Good biting there with Williams. Through the middle, Campbell. He's got Carter wide open. And Tyler Carter, that's the type of service you love as the full forward. Just charged straight down the middle of the 50 arc and have it hit you on the chest. There's no defending that. And an opportunity here for Tyler Carter. Carter just hanging that one out to the right and a minor score. So 2-1 plays 1-1. 11 minutes gone, first term at Blonston Arena. Chipped over the top for Green. Ruckman drives a low bullet of a kick and he finds Kieran Howlett. Howlett turns off, he's got pretty sure on a bit of space. He chips it short. This is some nice build-up play from the Roos, considered stuff. Whitelaw sends it wide. Tigers dropping bodies back in. They got Donnelly just out behind this contest as the loose man. He'll try and get across and impact this one. He does so, spoils away from Holmes, and it's out of play for a throw in. Just positioned himself expertly there, Donnelly. No matter where that ball went, he was probably going to be able to get to it. One of the better defenders in the competition, and bout of why the Tigers have had so much success early in this year. They've got stars on every line. Been challenged early by the Roos though. Handball out to Eddie Cole. Slaps it on the boot and drives it up there towards O'Neill. Didn't quite sit for him, so he's got to apply some pressure on Hurd. And he holds him up for a stoppage at half forward. Tigers starting to get their hands on the ball at these clearances a little bit more in recent minutes. That one bumped out there by Anderton. He follows up here, scraps a kick into space. Oh, getting into a little bit of trouble there. Over the shoulder though. It's been played against O'Neill. Much to the relief there of Keegan Ryan. It was either going to be ball or too high. Tigers sweeping off half back, sends it across looking for Griggs. Couldn't quite get there. Anderson charging through, just got a handball away. Also got a little push in the back, which will prevent Clifford from storming off and setting up a Tigers attack. Anderson picking up where he left off last week in those inclement conditions last weekend. Really, fortunately, a much nicer day today as Griggs just peeled off into a little bit of space here outside the 50 arc and takes the mark. Couple of leads present, but they're ignored. But take a fair heave from here for Green. He wheels out to his right and then sets it up centrally. Gardner parked back there, couldn't bring it down. Gathered by Ryan, he's immediately claimed in a tackle. And there'll be a ball up. George O'Neill just went to the boundary there for the Tigers on the interchange, looking a little proppy after landing awkwardly moments ago. Tap down goal side, Norton trying to get involved. Elijah Reardon through the contest, arches the back and then sends the handball wide. They clear defensive 50. Carter searching for that, but it was nicely done by Howard to punch it away from him. So back into play, Holmes continuing to ruck against Gardner. Clifford there. That's not going anywhere. Freeshaw was first to it. Those two going head to head at the contest. Gardner tapping down. Webb pressured by Anderton. Then Clifford comes through and gets Preshaw. Campbell trying again. There Clifford. Got the hands free to handle it out. Griggs spin off more than he could chew. Caught holding the ball. Whitelaw drives the Roos deep inside 450. Alomes! Umpire spotted a free kick the other way though. We'll go away. Well, Ben Donnelly drives them up the corridor. Picked that one perfectly, landed it between two Clarence players. Found his man Webb, who sends them wide. Searching out there for Joey Brower. He's in a contest with Bullsby, but just escorts it across the line. So Holmes just takes it out of the ruck, swings it around the corner on his left, bouncing towards Bullsboom. Escorting him across Blake McCulloch. Walk towards the line by Hanslow. 6-point lead to the Roos here in the first quarter. A tight battle developing. Important 4 points up for grabs. Nice work back there, and the chip kick to Holmes. Holmes further afield looking for Bullsboom, couldn't quite bring it in. Pressure being applied there by McCulloch. The Roos win the ball back. Hurd towed forward into the hands of Ryan, took a clean dish to handball to Norton with the flying shots. And the Roos get their third of the afternoon. Back to Norton with some tidy work on the run there. He drives through their third of the afternoon, 3-1-19. Leading Kingborough 1-1-7. Ryan was clean at ground level. And found Norton with the handball, who finished off in style. So Tompkinson beaten on this occasion. Paprotny sends Clarence forward. Straight through the hands. Had a chance for 2 goals in a minute there, but straight through the hands of Ryan. They'll go straight back in though through Paprotny. Donnelly diving down. Hit the ground though. The umpire calls for a ball up. Well, Donnelly taking a fantastic real Cam Green in the gully type areas. The umpire on this occasion at this venue said no bit of grass involved. No mark. Flick back to Preshaw. Don't argue, and then screws one around the corner on the left. Pitches just in front of Donnelly. Ryan with a clever little paddle. Oh, well done though by Bastick. Got in there and won a key ball. Danger not yet passed. Umpire spots a jumper hold. Anderson will get the free, will he? No, Holmes will. And he'll go back for Clarence's fourth. They've started strongly here this afternoon to extend the lead to 18 points in the 20th minute of the contest. The ladder leading Kingborough Tigers, coming off a bit of a surprise loss last week and having it taken right up to them early on here by the Roos. Holmes for their fourth of the afternoon. Leans back and dissects the middle. A lovely kick from Holmes. They've got their tails up here early on, the Kangaroos. It's 25 plays 7. They're doing the bulk of the attacking here as we tick towards red time in quarter number 1. The Tigers in need of a response here. 3 goals adrift in the first term. Green moves into the ruck. That one again will have to be bounced. Thrown up this time, Tompkinson over the top of Green. Clifford to Griggs, back to Clifford. Looks to send it wide in the Elijah Reardon direction. Boundary line might be in, he just gathers it. Had a bit of a fumble though. And then towing across the line was Tremaine, but also getting a big piece of Reardon in the process and conceding a free kick. Tigers players didn't like that. Elijah Reardon looks to dance around him and does. Reardon drives them inside the forward 50. Can they find a marking target? It's out the back. It bounced kindly for Carter. He steps up and kicks it through the middle. A response from the Tigers as it kicks off again on the wing. Jack Tremaine, who was the one who collected Reardon, copying it from Big Tompkinson, who's gone across over there. We were height and size disparity between those two, but he's come across to fly the flag. But the best possible response was that goal, as Reardon waltzed past Tremaine on the mark. He's so adept at making opposition defenders look like witches' hats. He did it to great effect there. And look, a fortuitous bounce perhaps for Carter, but he made the most of it. So up nicely for the big man. He grabs his first of the day. So back to an even 2-goal lead. Enjoyable contest developing here. And probably with the bounce, this one favours Green. He tapped it straight to Tompkinson. Tompkinson with the clearance inside 450 and taking front position and taking the mark. It was Max College, who will kick from around about 40 out. But there might be Zeitzen. It is James Zeitzen instead. So for 2 in a minute for the Tigers to cut the margin back to 6 points. Zeitzen sends it on its way. Just missed. Had good contact with the kick. Good purchase on it, but just not quite the accuracy. 11 points to the margin. Preshaw, the target here, flying in from the side, Hanslow. Godomski trying to burrow through, but can't do so. Tompkinson having a big piece with his jumper held there by Green. And a 50-metre penalty for encroachment against Beerley. Now this should make a certainty for Tompkinson. He'll be marched right to the teeth of goal and should be able to drive this one through and cut the margin back to 5 points. So just some ill discipline costing the Roos in the last couple of moments here. Bit of a needless free kick against Tremaine, which led to Reardon setting up a goal, and then a 50-metre penalty there, just inviting the Tigers back into the contest. 4-1-25, Clarence leading 3-2-20, the Tigers. But they've given them an avenue back into this game now. Yeah, the free kick and a 50-metre penalty. So Tompkinson, who can be a real live wire and fire starter for this Tigers outfit. In the ruck against Green, pumped it down beautifully. Lovell came through, flicked the handball back over his head, then retrieved it and flicked another one up in the air. Slapped down there by Cole. Lovell now forced to lay a tackle on Green. Will go again out of the middle. Red time in quarter number 1. Home side by 5 points, but Cole will send the Tigers inside the 450 once more. That's a strong mark from College. Just hit the pack and reeled it in. A real top quality contested mark that, Max College. And he can go back and try and put his side ahead. Eyes only for the football. Some forceful contact as he flew, but strong hands. And a chance to have the Tigers in front here as we head to quarter time, which seemed unthinkable 2 or 3 minutes ago. College from 25 out, leans back and misses. So a bit of a let off there for the Roos. Fall under 3-3, they'll try and exit out the far side. Didn't really have an option, had to wait for a few leads to develop. Eventually Preshaw works his way across and takes a good mark. The Roos got time here for a goal before the break. Again, Donnelly's just positioned himself expertly as that loose in defence. Drew the high contact free on that occasion. He's just doing his own thing behind the ball at times here, Ben Donnelly at the moment. Having a good impact on things. That one straight through the hands of Soupy Campbell. Might unlock something back the other way as Green scoops it over his head trying to find Cowie. He's surrounded by Tigers. They meet him forcefully and force the stoppage in the middle of the ground. Green wants the leap. Tompkinson palmed it down. It's fisted away by O'Neill. Trying to gather Zeitzen. Anderton wins it back, but then he coughed it up to Grigg. He tries to take a man on. Play on the call. Umpire said he got a handball away. Cowie met solidly, but a good handball across to Harper, and Harper sets it into space for Bealey. Bealey had a man all over the top. Couldn't find him though. His kick was smothered. Forced to do some defensive work instead. Wins it back. The Roos taking it along the outer wing. Alone's the target at half forward. Donnelly again spiking it away. Thrown back into play. Half forward for the Roos. Holding sway by 4 points in this first quarter. Holmes, one away from Gardner. Handball inside. And then the set-up kick. Driven in there. It's a good mark. Just getting in front of Clifford and taking it was Finn Marshall. So Marshall will kick from just inside 50. Looking to extend the lead back out to 10 points in the shadows of quarter time. He drives inside to buy a few extra metres. Does it quite have the journey? It does, but it doesn't have the accuracy. A minor score only. Their second blemish of the afternoon. 4-2 plays 3-3. 6 scoring shots apiece. Reardon takes it all the way to centre wing, and that's a good mark taken by College. Wants to get it moving quickly. Wide open space in front of him. It's Carter's forward 50 here at the moment in a one-on-one with Howard's, who's conceded the free kick there to the bigger frame of Tyler Carter. It's the value of getting it there in fast, and sometimes just make defenders a little nervous. Don't take much. A little grab of the jumper, a little infringement. And Carter, who has kicked one and missed one, will try and put his side ahead before the quarter time siren sounds. He'll kick around about 40 out. He's working it back nicely. Straight through the middle from Tyler Carter. He has his second, and the Tigers have the lead. 4-3 plays 4-2. And Tyler Carter with 2 goals in the opening term. Bent that one back beautifully. And they lead by a point as we tick towards half an hour played here in the opening term of Blundstone Arena. Perfect conditions for football this week after basically playing in the midst of a hurricane 7 days earlier at this venue. Slightly nicer out there, and just enabling a slightly higher standard of football out there than what we saw last week, which was really just a territory game. Much more about the foot skills and forward line efficiency. Umpires having a truly dire time of things, trying to get that bounce working here. Might be better off just going the throw up from now on, I reckon. This is the third one they've had to recall this term. The surface still pretty chopped up. Just going to throw up from now on, I reckon, as Gardner's claimed by Norton. Got his handball away though to Lovell. Sends the Tigers in the Tompkinson direction. Floated over, his head towards Carter. Took it clean. Tried to duck under Howard, who got him. Well rewarded. Tompkinson sparking up again. Always in the thick of it. In the end, a free kick was plucked to Tyler Carter, who'll have a chance for his third. So they've responded well. Going down 4-1, the Tigers. Midway point of this quarter. This for their fourth unanswered goal and for a 7-point lead here in the first term. Tyler Carter for his third. He nurses it through, no problem, and the Tigers will have a nice little break here. At quarter time, 5-3 to 4-2. And Clarence, who had a 3-goal lead, now looking up at the scoreboard as Tigers players just been put down off the ball there. This might be another free kick and another shot on goal for Carter. He might have 4 in the first term here. There is some nastiness out there this afternoon. Spot fires everywhere, pushing and shoving, going on off the ball. And a 50 has now been awarded, which will make an absolute certainty of this. He was far from a certainty from 40 out. He won't miss from the goal square. And Clarence just losing their heads here at the moment. They've really cost themselves 3 goals through indiscretions now. And Tyler Carter has got 4 goals in the first quarter, and the Tigers remarkably lead by 13. Well, who saw this coming at the 15-minute mark of the term? 5 straight for Kingborough. 2 of them made absolute certainties by 50-metre penalties, which have marched players to the goal square. Another one came from a free kick from Tremaine on Reardon in the build-up, which didn't really, it was just innocuous really. The ball was going across the line. It's a silly position to give a free kick away, and really it's cost them 3 goals at the back end of this term. But from a healthy lead, they now find themselves 13 points down here, the Roos. Gardner and Holmes grapple. Holmes tries to take it away. Go to Beerley. Clever little handball back to Hanslow. He drives them deep inside the forward 50. Ryan lurking, slacked away from him. A clear defensive 50. Brewer out up at the ball, but Quayshaw for the Roos. Just over the head, though, of Alomes. And smashed out of there by Bastic. Takes an awkward bounce and pitches out of play for a throw-in. But a long quarter here. 33 minutes we've ticked by. There have been 10 goals. A couple of mini brawls, so perhaps not too surprising. Holmes farmed it down nicely to Hanslow. The contest at speed, but Lovell brought him down. Give Lovell one who's really lifted as this quarter's gone on after the Roos got the jump on the early. There is quarter time, an intriguing first quarter here, a real tale of 2 halves within the quarter. The first half of the quarter was all Clarence. Kicked 4 goals to 1, built a handy lead. Then they lost their minds towards the end of the quarter. Some sloppiness, some indiscretions, and some ill discipline costing them 3 goals. The Tigers slammed on 5 late, and they lead this one by 13 points at quarter time. We'll be back soon with quarter number 2. So back for the second quarter here from Lunston Arena. It's Kingborough leading by 13 points after one quarter of action. Clarence kicked forward the first 5 goals of the game. Certainly looked sharp out of the blocks, but some sloppiness and a lack of discipline there costing them late in the quarter. Giving away 3 late goals through free kicks and 50-metre penalties. The Tigers also started to get on top of things around the contest a little more. Kieran Lovell, Clifford, Tompkinson started to lift their output, and that's why they now lead this one by 13 points. But the Roos showed more than enough in that first term to suggest they're going to be in this game. And it's a pretty entertaining contest thus far. Expecting that to continue on. Both teams really looking for the 4 points this afternoon. Clarence with suddenly Lauderdale breathing down their necks in the pursuit for finals. And Kingborough with the Northern Bombers breathing down their necks for top spot. So a win today for either side of the utmost importance. Umpire holds the ball aloft. And we're ready to go in quarter number 2. And a tough day for bounces for the umpires, but nailed that one. Tompkinson won it straight down. Cole handballed to Clifford. Clifford on the outside to Griggs. He was met solidly by Anderton, climbing all over him. Ensuring he is going nowhere. Unsurprisingly, plenty of pushing and shoving after that. There's been lots of little spot fires around the ground today. Holmes comes with the left fist and punches clear, but Lovell got there first. Back to Griggs. Griggs heaves it forward with the left, and not a great looking kick though. It was always going to be intercepted, and they'll switch it in the Howlett direction, who's peeled off here to the broadcast side wing. Nothing really developing further ahead of him though, so he darts back into the corridor and then chips it short for Whitelaw. He steers the kick inside the forward 50. Marshall couldn't quite take the mark, taken away from him. Back inside to Clifford. Clifford with a good handball. They work it further down the wing. Cole applies the pressure and it's walked across the line by Paprotny. Tompkinson and Green. Green slapped it towards the line and picks up some steam and runs across ahead of Bealey. Tompkinson takes front position, pumped it down beautifully to Clifford, but couldn't get his handball away. Got up Bealey. Now Norton sends the Roos to half forward. Ryan spoils into space, taken away there by Brereton, but the pressure being applied by the Roos here. Umpire letting this go for a while, circling. And eventually decides it's not coming out of that. Tompkinson and Holmes. Holmes reaches over the top. And no one able to win it clear again. The umpire giving them a long time to try and get it out there. Anderson climbed in, grabbed it, but he was quickly gathered in a tackle. Umpire's giving it plenty of time to try and spill from the contest rather than call for the stoppage here. Tompkinson wins it down. Battering in there, McCulloch. Again, a stoppage forced. Tompkinson tapped it down at his feet. Griggs was out the back of the contest, playing sweeper. And he just kicks it into open field here because he had no options at all. See if something can develop. Fighting hard there was College. Goes back in Max College and wins the hard ball. His kick takes an awkward bounce, took it away from Green into the path of Zeitzen, and Zeitzen sends it over the top to Jake Williams at half forward. Williams looks up, one-on-ones inside the forward 50, goes looking for Carter. He's already kicked forward, Tyler Carter. Oh, flick this one cleverly out the back to Eddie Cole, wheels one way, then the other, searches for it, but can't find a marking target, and puts it across the face. Gardner was the man he was looking for, perhaps could have gone the shot instead. Carter will do the rucking this time. Green with the flying leap took it away from him and then tapped it on the follow-up too. They clear defensive 50, looking for Preshaw up against Godomski. Preshaw forced in the end to play defender and spikes it into touch. Tompkinson just using his frame. Reared and crashing through. Couldn't keep a hold of it. Handball just released in time. Preshaw goes in for the ruse, but Campbell got a hold of him. They forced the turnover. Level through traffic. Just got the handball away. Cole back to Tompkinson. Spider-Man in space, and that's where he heads. Griggs taking the mark. Just spears one in the Gardner direction, but dropping in front of him was Williams. Thought about handing it off. Thinks better of it. So it's actually the other blue-booted man in Eddie Cole who goes back from 45 and gets it horribly wrong. Doesn't even trouble the scorers. Pretty reliable user, Eddie Cole. Not his best work there. The Roos looking to exit out the far wing. Tigers had flooded bodies across that side of the ground, so they try and switch via Fisher at fullback, and that invites in Gardner. Bounced off the post to stay in. It will be thrown into play. But a risky way to execute the switch, that one was inviting all manner of danger. Tigers lead by 13. Looking to extend that here. They've settled into the game nicely. Carter against Green. Carter won it down. Cole overrunning it. Howard was in there. Handball, hands low, scooped and gathered, did it well, got it to Norton, arches the back and tears away. Absolutely nothing ahead of him though, so he was forced to retreat, played a little 1-2, the smother came, but it worked out all right. Ballspoon kick still found its way through. Oh, made to it, that one was Hanslow. Bastic met him very solidly late. I'm surprised there's no 50 immediately. A stretch has been called for, which is never a good sign. The players are screaming stretcher. The trainers have just run out here without one. I get the sense he might have been just about knocked out there, unfortunately. Hanslow was met solidly and late. And given the way the players are now gathering in the middle of the ground, this unfortunately does not look good for Tyson Hanslow. Since he might have been knocked out cold. The stretcher is out to him now, and never scenes you like to see out of footy game this. So a brief lull here. Blunston Arena as we stop for the stretcher. A 13-point lead for the Tigers. And Clarence potentially about to be a player down for the rest of the afternoon. Going round the grounds, Glenorchy taking it up to Launceston, 19-21, start of the third quarter in that one. No such tightness up at UTAS. The Northern Bombers leading the Demons 70-8 at half-time there. So Tyson Hanslow is the player currently being put on the stretcher. Bastic, there was no malice involved. He was trying to spoil the ball, but unfortunately caught him late, caught him on the head. And Hanslow didn't really move too much after that. He stayed down. The players immediately started yelling for the stretcher, which was an indication it was a bit of a nasty one. So fingers crossed, and our thoughts with Tyson at this time. Hopefully nothing long term, but always a concern when it involves the head, that's for sure. And he's now being stretchered off here. His team will get across to him. They're going to have to go on and do the job without him, but hopefully they're not going to be without him for too long. It's nothing major, but certainly doesn't look great there for Tyson Hanslow. Now the players have to get back into the heat of a pretty heated battle, really. After this lull, this kind of silence that descends across the ground when you have an injury like this. Now they've got to pick themselves back up and start going 100% at every contest again. There has been plenty of feeling out there thus far between these two sides. A little bit spiteful at times. So it'll be another long quarter. Hanslow is taken down the race, so fingers crossed for Tyson. Play now to resume on centre wing. Clarence will have the ball, and they'll be looking to go inside forward 50 in arrears by 13 points as it stands. Holmes will take the kick. Doesn't look like he wants to be the man to launch it inside 50, so he just chips it short instead. So selling a little Candy Fisher, drives them inside the forward 50. Baxter Norton tried to circle around, but there was Murray Bastic taking the mark. Oh, he set Griggs up under pressure there. He was good under the high ball, Lockie Griggs. His kick, it was a little bit dicey though. Coughed it up to Whitelaw, turns it around the corner. Bastic took front position, flicked it over the top to Donnelly and charges off half back. Goes looking for Big Gardner. In the end, almost stayed in. Just trickled out of play. Tompkinson won it down to Webb. His handball to Bealey, up and under to half forward. Donnelly comes across, couldn't bring it down. Bastic gets beat to the ball. Tompkinson parked under this one, couldn't complete the mark. Jared Harper on the bottom of the pack. Green and Tompkinson, who went unopposed, but he tapped it straight to Preshaw. Preshaw screws it around the corner. Godomski paddles it in front. Preshaw there for Clarence, but the spare was Donnelly, who arches the back and turns away again. And punches one right down the middle. It's a good-looking kick. Finds a marking target in Webb. Webb sends them wide. Plenty of bodies back inside defensive 50 for the Roos. But somehow, in the midst of it all, Williams takes the mark. Griggs was calling for it in space, but I think Williams will take this shot on himself. So Jake Williams trying to cut the margin, extend the margin rather, to 19 points. Looks good off the boot. He's nailed it, so Williams kicks the Tigers' 7th of the afternoon, the first goal of this second quarter. 7-3, 45 to 4-2, 26. Although the majority of the quarter, unfortunately, a stoppage there as the stretcher came out for Hanslow. But in the 7 or 8 minutes of action we did get, that is the first goal. And the Tigers kick away by 19 points. They've kicked the last 6 consecutively now, have the Tigers. It's the Roos who badly need the next goal. Green against Gardner. Gardner took it, tried to peel it off to Lovell, but Bealey took it away from him, handed it off to Anderton with the left foot. He goes looking for a Loams, but not the type of service he was after. Stayed inside the field of play though, so it'll be thrown in. Gardner and Green go at it. Slap boundary side. Green following up. He shrugs off Cole. And Ryan back to Anderton. Just got his kick away in time. Almost reeled in, not quite. Umpire spot a free kick. Coming the way of Reed, an advantage paid. Tigers clear defensive 50. Looking here for Golding. Spoil came from behind, but Golding able to gather. Turns back into the corridor. Just holds up a moment, waits for the leads, and tried to find Tompkinson. Anderton almost intercepted. Fisher punched it straight to Will Clifford. Clifford, he in turn turns it straight over to Paprotny. Takes the relieving mark at half back and then looks to chip it wide. Steered down the line. No Keegan Wiley in the Clarence outfit this afternoon. Normally a bit of a distributor off half back. Perhaps missing his accurate left boot so far in this contest. They'll try and rebound this time. Again, lofted down the wing. Off hands out the back. Going nowhere with it was the bigger Ruckman. Gardner taps it down. And applied some pressure, but just got in the back a little. Free kick going the way of the Roos and backs to Norton. Sent to the forward 50. Flying from behind, almost bringing it down. Not quite Ryan. But his handball back through traffic was Whitelaw. Whitelaw just offline. Through for a behind. They need a goal, the Roos. 4-3-27, trailing by 18 points. The last 6 have gone the way of the Tigers. Kieran Lovell couldn't quite get around Whitelaw, so forced to go sideways instead. Good pressure here from the Roos. Howlett gathers back to Preshaw. He's in trouble. Just got it away in time. But it bounced up for Clifford. Spinning away now, Webb through some heavy traffic, was clean. His kick, a little grubber into the middle of the ground. Played the 1-2 expertly in the end. Then flicked a handball to Clifford. Has time to assess his options and find Carter. And Tyler Carter, who's already kicked 4 this afternoon, eyeing off his 5th. Some terrific work through Webb there, through the middle of Blunston Arena. He was clean. And then Clifford had plenty of time just to sit and wait, assess the options and pick the right target. And he found this man in Carter, who kicked 4 in the opening term, Tyler Carter. And he hammers that into the post. So you won't get a 5th. A minor score only. The lead back out to 19 points. Short the back pocket they go. Holmes, the next target, presents up. Spoil came from behind from McCulloch. Whitelaw couldn't gather it. McCulloch got it out to Griggs. Just tried to massage one in the pocket. Inaccurate though, and out on the full. Paprotny will take over. Sold to play on Paprotny. Heads up the line. Holmes again, a likely target. Ryan from the side, not paid the mark. In the end, the Tigers are advantage. Bladen Lovell sends him inside forward 50 with a spear. And he finds a marking target in Williams. Everyone kind of turned to look at the umpire, see which way it was being played. In the end, Lovell reacted fastest and drove a beauty of a kick here to Williams. And if he kicks Strelly here, the Tigers will have doubled Clarence's score as we tick in a red time in the second term. Williams, very second of the quarter. He's hung it out to the right. And he misses. 7-5, 47. Oh no, missed a couple. There's Griggs round the corner. Marked by Green. So the Roos find Marshall in space on the wing. Everyone was up inside. The Tigers attacking half of the ground, and that's a really disappointing kick. Just under no pressure there. Not out of bounds on the full, but just not the ball use the Roos need there if they're going to get themselves back into this one. Last 6 goals of the game have gone the way of the Tigers. Firmly on top here at the moment. We get a rebound after a bit of a shock loss last weekend. Slap towards Eddie Cole. Pretty sure the score Tim over. Gardner over the top. Clifford won the ball, handed it off to Elijah Reardon, always so creative. He's got Tompkinson in plenty of space. Preshaw rolled the dice, peeled off him. And that just left the big fella standing all on his lonesome. And he can extend the lead out to 28 points here, Jack Tompkinson. Has cooled down a little in the last month after absolutely dynamic start to the season. He was just about the form player of the league early on. Still having an impact week to week, though, that's for sure. He's on an absolute tear to start the season, Big Tompkinson. Can he kick from 40 here? Bit of an angle. He leans back on it. It's working back through the middle. And the Tigers are up by 28 points. They've kicked 7 on the bounce here. 8-7-55, they lead to the Roos, 4-3-27. In dire need of a response now are Clarence. The player down, of course, with Tyson Hanslow. Stretch it off after a whack to the head early in this term, which will mean we'll go pretty long in quarter number 2, as we did with quarter number 1. But be imagining well over half an hour here again. But Clarence desperately need the next one. A promising start. As well and truly in the rear vision mirror now. It's been all Tigers since. And a handy break of 28 points. Gardner. Anderson got a fist in there. Eddie Cole. Just handballed into space and then paddled towards Clifford. Clifford tried to bounce off Norton. Ryan won it back, handed it to Harper. Back to Norton. He was closed down by Clifford. Clifford follows up and he's claimed by Green. That lingered a little. That's got to be a free kick. It'll go the way of the Tigers. Clifford with a couple of great efforts this quarter. And a pretty clever kick there, but O'Neill couldn't quite make it work for him. Reardon claimed it, just got his boot to ball. Found Zeitzen. And Zeitzen looks like he's confident in the journey. He kicks from the white paint to the line and across the line. It's a brilliant kick from James Zeitzen and the Tigers have another. 9-7-61. They lead this by 34 points. They are storming off into the distance now. They've kicked 8 in a row, and the Roos just need to find a way to stem the bleeding here. They're being blown away by the ladder leaders, who are getting right back to the type of form they displayed throughout much of the first 2 months of the season, before hitting some slightly more turbulent winds in recent times. So back to the middle, Green against Gardner. Green won it down, but it'll be the Tigers who should be able to get the clearance. Although a good follow-up tackle forces a turnover, and then the Roos will go inside forward 50. Stretching was Preshaw, trying to get rid of Godomski. Fired a handball back inside. And we have Tigers back there blocking up the area though. And they'll clamber in. The umpire calls for it. Got to get something going here, Clarence. Got to find the next goal in this game. Holmes down to Preshaw. Couldn't take clean possession. Beerley applying some pressure, but Lovell got his kick clear. Turned it over to Zeitzen. It's going to be 50 for a movement on the mark. It is. It's going from bad to worse here for the Roos. Preshaw just moved a fraction off his line before the whistle. That'll give Zeitzen the chance to set something up inside forward 50. Oh, how's that happen? All on his own. Big Gardner and acres of space at the 50. Sends it to the square. Bounces through. They've got another one. And that was far too easy. Marcus Gardner was just left standing all on his own at the top of the 50. Despite it being a 50-metre penalty and everyone peeling back, they somehow didn't spot the big ruck, who then turns one round the corner. It pitches in the goal square and no one's back there to prevent it going through. It's all rather unravelling here for the Roos. The margin now 40 points. 10-7 to 4-3. It was 4-1 in favour of the Roos in this first term. They're almost at double digits in the consecutive goals. It's been quite the response from the Tigers. And Clarence just making basic errors now. Ran into some troubles with the umpires late in the first term. That one was all their own doing, and beautifully one down to Webb, who just coasts through the middle, sends them forward again, bounces in the Carter direction. Anderson got there first. He was sent crashing to the deck. Snap on goal. It's through from Williams, and the Tigers have 10 on the trot. They've blown this game open. They're walking it out of the middle. Williams has another, and they lead by 46. Well, the tight battle from early on has all but dissipated. This is turning very ugly for the home side. They're getting obliterated out of the middle at the moment. They just need to find some way, get their hands on the football and stop this absolute procession that's developing. Gardner and Tompkinson been dominant in the ruck contest, and now they're just walking it out. Webb able to saunter out of the middle there moments ago. Paprotny in there now for the Roos. He fired a handball back and they'll go inside 450 via Whitelaw. Sends them up there in the direction of Marshall. But again, the Tigers, well, they should have been able to clear it. They turned it over to Preshaw, going back to Anderton. Anderton darts onto his left and screws one inside forward 50. Wasn't the best kick, though, towards Harper. It's worked out in the Holmes direction. Reardon climbs on top of it. Holmes climbs on top of him. And a stoppage deep inside forward 50. Can they find something here, the Roos? They need a response. It's this one getting very ugly. Holmes takes it out of the ruck, snaps it. But snaps offline. Only a behind. Reardon coasting out of defence and launches towards the wing. Gardner backing back. Preshaw from behind takes it and immediately goes. He pumps the Roos inside the forward 50. Plenty of Tigers players back there though. No one can take it in the air. Godomski's claimed. Preshaw has a hold of him. Holmes and Gardner. Gardner taps it boundary side, pitches back in. Preshaw dives in on top, but immediately Lockie Griggs locks him up. Gardner slapped it in. Clearing kick. And fisted away by Bealey from Kieran Lovell. Back down. Soupy Campbell streams away with it. Left footer is picked off nicely though. Ollie Preshaw back there for the Roos. He's played on. He's in trouble from behind here. Just got his kick away. Down the line. Two Roos spoil each other and in the end Gardner somehow comes away. But Lovell too dexterous for Green. Back to Griggs. Punches it down the line. Zeitzen was there. Spills out the back. Zeitzen kept his feet. Gathers the ball, just handball behind Max College, follows up with another effort. He's exhausted though. Couldn't get his handball with much purchase, but Protney just sent a teammate directly out. Bealey had to wait under that one and Reardon climbed on top. Ryan trying to bounce out of trouble. Bealey taking a little high there. And the free kick will go the way of Bealey. 31.5 minutes gone in this term. It will be a long one after Hanslow was stretched off. Preshaw did really well to take the mark. Surrounded by three Tigers and he hands it off to Baxter Norton. Norton with a flying shot from range. Deep to the teeth of goal. Holmes was down there. But in the end, Bastic's able to work it across the line. 45 points the margin. Late in the second term, 4-4 to 11-7. It was 4-1 to 1-1. Since then, Tigers have gone on an absolute tear. They'll clear the defensive 50 here. Unable to be gathered by Marshall. Spills out the back to O'Neill. And O'Neill combines with Golding. And they work it up the wing. All done there, though, by Preshaw to take the intercept mark. Steers them centrally. Wasn't 15. Had a handball one over the top. And that enabled Brereton to send one high into the sky. College timed the spoil perfectly. No, infringe from front on. So tough in that situation. Tough for the player has to stand under the ball. He's about to get walloped 9 times out of 10, but generally you get the free kick as he did there. Just a tough situation for the other player. Even if you do time the fist well, take any of the man, generally you give the free kick away. The Roos now through Howard, try and switch. That will be half-time here. There's a quarter where things really took a turn for the worse for the Roos. The Tigers kicked 5 goals to nothing, and Tyson Hanslow will stretch it off. And after leading this one by 18 points halfway through the first quarter, as we turn for the main change, as the Tigers up by 45. 11-7 plays 4-4. Dominant stuff here from the Tigers after being jumped. They've kicked the last 10 consecutive goals to have a very healthy lead at the main change. We'll see if the Roos can turn things around in the second half, but at half-time here at Blunston Arena, it is distinctly looking like the Tigers' day. A 45-point lead to them. We'll be back in around about a quarter of an hour's time with the second half for you. Kingborough firmly in the ascendancy at Blunston Arena. That would be one of the bigger upsets. Yep. Yeah.
Got flogged by North.
Right.
No.
That's long.
They're playing their two sides.
It's like a too long.
Boys, what's going on? So you were going to learn a bit lately? Yes.
Going back to 11 o'clock, I thought I must have missed 2 points on the score. So I randomly gave them 2 points late in that quarter and they've just been taken off. So upset that would be an option.
go back up the tunnel, and then where the cafe is, so you'll be facing the cafe, go right.
So welcome back for the second half here at Blunston Arena. It's the Kingborough Tigers firmly in command here after 2 quarters of action. 11-5-71 leading Clarence 4-4-28. Bit of a correction to the scoreboard at half time there. Been going off the scoreboard here at the ground, which had them at 73. That was adjusted during the half-time break, so 43 points the margin, but still firmly in control. A reminder, it was 4-1 to 1-1 in favour of Clarence after about a quarter of an hour. Since then, they've kicked 3 behinds. The Tigers have reeled off 10 consecutive goals to stamp their authority on this match and set up what looks a match-winning break of 43 points as we turn for the second half. Around the grounds, Launceston leading Glenorchy by just 4 points in their clash at KG5. A thriller developing there, 44-40, halfway point of the final quarter. Whilst in the north, the Northern Bombers lead 105-39 over the Demons. But to this game, and it's the Tigers firmly on top as we begin the second half. Immediately go forward again here. Lovell and Beerley. Lovell flicked the handball up. Taken off, it was Cole. Pretty sure he's going to be ping-holding the football here. Free kick will go the way of Lockie Clifford. Eddie Cole, sorry, who's slowly back to his feet. And eventually Cole will take the free kick, and he sends the Tigers deep forward. They've got a couple of leads presenting, and that's brilliantly reeled in by Max College. A couple of times today he's taken strong contested marks, and he reeled that one in beautifully. Did Big Max. So the Tigers looking to pick off right where they left off in the first half and resume the onslaught to extend the lead to 49 points. Max College will kick 35 out, 45-degree angle, never in doubt, guides it straight through the middle, and they get the early goal to start the second half. And Clarence mired in trouble here at the moment, trailing by 49 points in the first half. Had Tyson Hanslow stretch it off with a nasty head knock. Looked like he was taken off to hospital during the half-time break. Fingers crossed for him, but perhaps that playing on the mind of some of the Clarence players out there at the moment. What we do know is that really from about the halfway point of the first quarter, it has been one-way traffic. There's been emphatic stuff from the Kingborough Tigers, and they lead this one by 49 points. Free. Going to recall that one, the umpire. In a bit of a trouble today, getting the centre bounce right. A bit chopped up middle of the pitch at the moment due to the rather wet weather we've had the last week or so. Thankfully, good conditions for football today as Beerley will take the ruse forward here. He'll go looking for Holmes. Bastick worked his way to the front. Despairingly, Holmes fighting after it, but Elijah Reardon picks it off and through traffic. He swings them wide and he finds College on a searching lead, but he just dropped it at the last second and spilt it over the line. So Tompkinson up against Green. Green wins this one. He'll get the clearance as well. He charges through the back of the contest, tried to bring Holmes. Stretched up, couldn't gather it. Tremaine puts his body on the line. Tough contest there with McCulloch. Now to play the result. Tompkinson with strength gets her to Green. And then he turns it around the corner and he finds William Soupy Campbell. Campbell driving them forward once more. Carter out the back, won't quite reach him. Fell to Harry Fisher. Fisher looks to Steady a pass up the line to Bealey and found his man in space. Green now in the middle of the ground. They'll execute the switch. Borsboom the next link in the chain here for Howlett, but he ignores that and goes further afield to Alomes. Alomes plucks it. Got a few options, screaming for it inside forward 50 here at the moment. Keegan Ryan was one of them. He's steady, goes to the pocket, and Holmes! Well, he thought he had a lot of that. Umpire disagreed. And they take it across the line. So a stoppage in forward 50. He's desperate to break a run of 11 consecutive goals to the Tigers. Holmes to ruck against Tompkinson. Tompkinson just got rid of him. Handball inside to Campbell, who smashes it forward in the Gardner direction as 2 to beat, and did so. Getting his handball away was Golding. Got it to Gardner. Gardner driving into the Carter direction. But taking front spot was Preshaw, and he takes a nice intercept mark back there. And he spreads it wide. It pitches just in front of Borsboom at half-back, who drives it up the line. He finds Alomes a long way from home. Bryce Alomes. Short sideways to Anderton. Anderton cuts into the middle, finds Bealey. Bealey handballs it off there to Cowie. Cowie sends them wide. Green was in plenty of space here. Can he find a marking target? Pitches just in front. His 4 target. Reardon goes back, picks it up, flips it over the top, trying to find Golding. And Reardon forced to tackle once again. .49 points the margin. Holmes gets the better of Tompkinson, slapped it down. Tight to the line, trying to keep it in. Whitelaw just couldn't do so. Tompkinson whacks it down. Eddie Cole toes it towards Clifford. Plenty of ruse surrounding him. Clifford of the Will variety with a nice tackle laid. Prevents them rebounding off half back. Again towed by Cole. Anderson tried to slap it forward. Bounced off Lovell. Bealey applying the pressure. Griggs comes in. Clarence players want holding the football. Umpire gives it a long time. Eventually calls for it. Six of one, half a dozen the other, I thought, but the free kick will go the way of the Roos. Noah Holmes. He'll be kicking from 50 out. His side in dire need of a major. He'll take his best from here, Noah Holmes, but generally a powerful kick of the football. Considered approach. Can he stop the run of Tigers goals? He wheels out to the right and is charged down by Eddie Cole. Gathered by Williams. Cole's continued his run further afield, and this will pitch just in front of him. He can gather and look up to a wide open forward 50. Just the one marking target, but he found him expertly. Eddie Cole, superb stuff there. He forced the turnover with the smother. He followed up to present an option, and then he sent the kick inside the forward 50 to find the wide open Zeitzen. Now James Zeitzen to extend the lead to 55. It's an unbelievable effort by Eddie Cole. Working hard both ways, and then there were 3 back for the Roos. With a kick put beautifully to the advantage of Zeitzen. He kicks from 35, straight through the middle. They have another 13-5-83. The Tigers leading this one by 55 points. Storming well and truly clear. Not that their league leading percentage particularly needs a boost, but today certainly looking like it may well be. A fairly handy boost to that percentage. 3 points to the margin, KG 5 between Glenorchy and Launceston. Northern Bombers well and truly wrapped up business against the Demons in the other game. Around the grounds here this afternoon in the TSL, but at Blunston Arena, it is all Kingborough Tigers. The Roos reeling here at the moment. Norton will get this clearance though. He hacks it forward. Pitches in front of Reardon, bounced over the top, then Tremaine just smashes it. That might be insufficient intent. Umpire calls for it instead. They tend to get a little bit more leeway with the punches and spoils out of bounds and disposals. I think his intent was fairly clear, but allowed to do it in a defensive contest. So Gardner and Holmes going to lock up. Holmes dangerous from this situation normally. He palms this one down towards Norton. Brings it under his spell. Fell to Tremaine. Got his kick away. That too was blocked off. Godomski did well. Found it to Reardon, who just smashed it on the boot and buys some territory. Bouncing in front of Howlett. Steadies. Turns back into the corridor and now sends it wide. Norton had stayed in space. Has to sit under this one. Taken away from the last second. Advantage paid. I'm not sure that's 15. Just says the umpire, Preshaw. He sneaks one over the top and finds a marking target inside the 450. Corey Lovell will take a good kick from here. $55 points in the margin. Can he break a run of 12 consecutive goals? He can't. He never gave it a chance. He doesn't trouble the scorers. So the Clarence misery continues here at Blunston Arena. The Tigers bouncing back sharply after a bit of an off week last week against the Bombers. Gardner the target here. Ryan in from the side. Through the contest, Golding diving on it. Green just slaps it out of there. O'Neill applying the pressure. Campbell tries to extract it. In the end, draws the in the back free kick and gives it off to Lovell. Lovell keeps them moving. Finds Tompkinson further down the line. Wide open in front of Tompkinson as the bodies start to flood back. Tompkinson searching down there for Carter. Strong hands, he plucks it, wheels onto the left, tries to swing it back, but it's only Howlett back there for the Roos, who's able to take the mark and bounce off of half back. He sends them up the corridor. It was a poor kick straight down the throat of Webb. Webb looks up, has some options presenting. Opts to kick to a contest. Carter in from the side. Tompkinson was there. Green brought to ground. And there'll be a ball up. Carter up against Green. Slap back centrally. Carter first to it. Oh, sells a little candy. Steadies the kick. Dribbles it towards the line. It'll be walked over. Just couldn't get the elevation on the kick. Oh, fake. It was very nice from Carter as Paprotny tries to clear defensive 50. Tompkinson comes from the side. Spills out the back to Borsboom. He's collected immediately. Gets the handball away in time. Down the line they go. Searching for Lovell. Did well. Had two to beat them. Then tried to find Holmes. The spoil came from Donnelly. Holmes came, won it cleanly. One-on-one inside the 450. Spills out the back into a foot race. Reardon doing the defensive work, and he just got the better there of Tremaine. And trickles across the line for a behind. 4-5-29 Clarence. 55 points behind. Bealey punching it low. Handball to Howlett, just missed him. Gathers, was brought down. Webb tries to skip free. Charging off half back there, James Webb. Spots up Tompkinson, but Preshaw did well to get in the road. Got a hand in there. Now they retreat to Fisher. Fisher has the switch on in Baxter Norton. That's where he heads. Oh, he got that kick wrong, though. Showed too much of it to Lockie Clifford. And Clifford will pump the Tigers back into the Carter direction inside forward 50. Howard took it away from him. Following up Carter. Couldn't quite gather. The pressure applied by Howard. Eddie Cole turning, squaring it up, looking for Williams. Bounced off his chest. They try and hack it clear, but straight down the throat again of Clifford. Clifford steadies and chips it. Oh, poor kick. Had Lovell in acres of space and put it over his head. Preshaw now charging back the other way for the Roos. Sends them up towards the wing. Good intercept mark taken. There's Donnelly once more. That was a poor kick right into Preshaw. Preshaw has Anderton. Anderton looks up wide open, forward 50 in front of him. Dropped it off to Baxter. Norton sent it out the back. Fell off hands. Tremaine snaps. And they finally break the run of Tigers goals at 12. Their first goal since the halfway point of the first term. Clarence 5-5-35. Trailing this one by 49 points. Jack Tremaine with some nice roving. A tidy finish. And a badly needed goal, that one, for the Roos. It's confirmation from KG5. Launceston have held on to win by 3 points, 51-48 in that one. A thriller over at KG5. Much closer than what we've got here as the Tigers walk it out of the middle again through Clifford. Clifford sends them deep inside the forward 50, just over the head of Zeitz and made it work. Juggled it, got his shot away, but couldn't quite bend it back. Wrong side of the post from Zeitz. The lead back out to 50 points. They've been dynamite out of the middle today. That's a kick that's going to work for Preshaw. Took it in stride and then sent them further up the wing. Reardon in a one-on-one with the goal scorer Tremaine. Holmes cuffed it straight up to Reardon. Donnelly. They've got the spare man, so they're able to work their way through the situation well and find Zeitzen up the line. Zeitzen goes looking in the Tompkinson direction. Just pushed underneath the football there, big Tompkinson. It'll be his free kick. Just inside the 450 arc. Fisher just getting in the back a little. Certainly exaggerated the contact to make sure it was shown, but it's definitely there. Your defender trying to stand this man mountain. Very easy to just give away and in the back. Don't want him to have a free run at the football. So Tompkinson to extend the lead back out to 56 points. He'll kick from the red paint. He's working it back. Not quite. Wrong side of the post again. 13 goals, 8 now the Tigers. It's the Roos clear defensive 50. Searching for a Loams through his hands. Toss back up, unopposed in the end, Gardner, but Clarence will take it away. Preshaw fight out a handball with too much heat on it. Out the back, Cowie. Vange will be paid here for a dumping tackle. Preshaw worked it to Green. Green, the short little kick went into the man just in front of him, who shuts that down over the line. So it's not coming together at the moment for the Roos. There's some concern for the Tigers. Kieran Lovell just a little proppy on the near sideline, but seems like he's going to be right to get back out there momentarily. Zeitzen also a little bit ginger down there, so some sore bodies out there as this one's sent into the middle. Good pressure applied by Harvey Hurd there for the Roos. Soupy Campbell works it forward, finds Webb. Webb didn't have an immediate option. Carter presented in the end, got a hand to it, couldn't gather it. Preshaw gets a hand in, and it's over the line for a throw in. 51 points the margin here. Ticking towards red time in quarter number 3. The Tigers firmly in command and on their way to a pretty comfortable win here this afternoon. The margin, all that's really left in dispute, you'd imagine, from this point forwards. Tompkinson palmed it down, followed up too. Umpire spotted a hold. It's going the way of the Roos. Green to Preshaw. Stabbed a little pass to him and found his man at half back. Mark now taken by Whitelaw. Whitelaw back into the middle for Norton. Norton spreading it wide. Some good ball use here to Lovell. And Corey Lovell continues to use the full dimensions of Blunston. Found Hurd. Hurd spearing one to half forward. That was just broken up there by McCulloch. McCulloch tumbles a kick towards the middle of the ground. Norton. His handball was impacted, bouncing through Clifford, superb, sends them deep, Carter in a one-on-one, it's out the back, foot race between Carter and Fisher, Carter gathers, gets his kick away and dribbles it through. He's having a day out, Tyler Carter. The Tigers have another one, they kick away to a 57-point lead. Got it in there deep to the one-on-one. In the end, Carter had the back position, unfortunate for Fisher. Most of the time you tell your defenders to take that spot, but it fell out the back. Was able to shield the ball, gather cleanly, and kick another. 4 goals in the first quarter. Tyler Carter. It's been a dominant presence. He's had some pretty good service coming out of that midfield. Touch back down in the middle, Gardner. Want it down, Clifford again. Been superb for the Tigers. This kick, however, all bouncing off the chest. Clarence defender volleyed it out of the air and he found Anderton. Anderton further afield. Reardon impacting from behind there on Tremaine. Ducked into that, looking to draw the high contact. Umpire not deceived. Godomski sweeps it into the middle for Gardner. Stops, props, and then drives them to half forward. College just worked his defender under the football, then he spears one across to Tompkinson. And Tompkinson, who's a booming kick, will go back for the pain of 50. Try and find their 15th of the afternoon. Ball use has been pretty good today, the Tigers. Perhaps it's standing out more to me after watching and calling that game at this ground last week, where hitting a target was nigh on impossible given the high winds. But, their foot skills have been pretty clean and pretty impressive this afternoon, the Tigers. Tompkinson now to extend the lead to 63. Just hangs it out there to the right and through for a minor score. They move along to 14 goals, 9. So Anderton from full back. His left just steers one in the Fisher direction, but Zeitzen came in with the spoil. Fell the way of Joey Brewer, who didn't quite make the contact he was after, and skews it out of bounds. So Anderton. Holmes there, Reardon in from the side, opts for the double fist out of play. See how high up the ground Donnelly and Reardon pushing there to impact these contests. Shows how they're condensing the ground here, really keeping it locked in, making it tough for the Roos to shift the ball off half back. Holmes opposed to Gardner. Holmes reaches over the top and gets the clearance, tumbles the kick 20 metres forward. Gathered by Tremaine. He eyed the handball out to Paprotny, worked it on. Norton couldn't take it cleanly, he was gathered. And in turn, Brewer is taken to the ground. Holmes leans over with strength. Trying to trap at Howlett. Norton And scrapping away for it. Umpires have been pretty consistent this afternoon in terms of giving them a long time in these situations for the ball to spill out. And eager to avoid blowing the whistle too soon for stoppages. Holmes palm down. On the ground somehow getting a kick on that was Norton. Lovell turning away with it, shrugging off Paprotny, flicked the handball over to Reardon, braced for contact, just got the handball away in time. Umpire says it wasn't a legitimate handball. Pings him for incorrect disposal. So Jack Tremaine. Sets them up inside the forward 50. But it was nicely picked off back there. Godomski. Clears defensive 50. Fell to Reardon. Through traffic was Silky. Didn't have a lot to work with, just steered it forward, and the pressure came from Campbell. Fell to Clifford. Can he gather it clean? Got it caught between his legs. Still had the awareness to gather it and dash away. Turn, send them inside 50 towards Carter, who just pushed his opponent under the ball. And a free kick will go the way of Fisher. So Fisher ups to the short target in green and using all of his height, the big ruckman extends the dukes and takes it. This is where it's been breaking down for them though. It was spoiled again by O'Neill. Green got a second bite at it. In the end was able to work it down the line to Howard. They've had real trouble transitioning off half back, the Roos. And again, they miss an easy target and it's turned over, although he just gone across the line, so it'll be thrown in.
Just go back now, just do a hole.
14-9 plays 5-5. 13 of the last 14 goals for the Tigers. It's been emphatic stuff. As the ball is slapped forward by Beerley. Goes back in trying to gather it, does so, but he gets claimed immediately. And Donnelly just positioned as the loose behind the ball for the Tigers. He's played that role expertly today. Clarence will get the clearance here. They go inside to Howlett. Arching one way, then the other. Forced to retreat here. Howlett needs to get rid of it. Eventually he does and finds Anderton. The spearing pass to the middle of the ground. Anderton got it moving quickly. Found Hurd. Hurd drove the towards Holmes. Couldn't complete the mark. Godomski goes in. Holmes wrestles him to the ground and forces the ball up. No, dangerous tackle I think was called on Holmes for the sling in the end. Tigers retreat back to Lockie Clifford, who's been everywhere. Didn't see any options he immediately likes, but thinks his way through it and finds Donnelly. The corridor looks open, but will instead go more conservative route and take it wide. College. It's taken some good contested marks today. Adds another to the collection. Max College works it up the line in the Tyler Carter direction. Oh, unrealistic from Howard. Advantage paid, and Carter pumps them deep. Campbell from behind applied the spoil, spilled to Beerley. Beerley retreats. They'll handball across to Howard. By hand, the Roos work it. Oh, a sloppy kick, but in the end found a teammate in Paprotny. He wasn't his intended receiver. Now Ryan sides between a couple, cutting through the wing. Lovely work there from Ryan. He's kicked towards Alomes. Half forward, got no support here at all, Alomes. He might go after his own kick. In the end, not 15, Kilroy. What about 25 up in the air? Not 15 in distance. And Alomes has got Donnelly cold. Well, fought on well there, Bryce Alomes. Gets the free kick. The kind of bizarre sky ball wasn't paid 15 metres. Donnelly thought he'd taken him up. Well, Alomes wasn't looking overly confident in the kick, looking for an option inside, will now have to try and convert from the almost impossible angle. So, to the three-quarter time siren, can Bryce Alomes thread the eye of the needle here? It's working back and catches a piece of the post from behind. So they end the term 5-6-36, the Roos in arrears by 57 points. The Tigers have this game well and truly under lock and key. The only question now is what will be the final margin. I'll be back in around about 5 minutes' time with the answer to that. At three-quarter time, Kingborough continuing to surge on, leading this one 14-9-93 to Clarence 5-6-36. So back for the final term here at Blunston Arena. Kingborough Tigers in firm control of this game, leading by 57 points. Just a matter now of how much they end up winning this one by. Their nearest rivals on the ladder, North Launceston, temporarily jumped up level on points with them, although still a long way behind on percentage with their big win over the Demons. As it stands, they've both played 10 with 8-2 records. Tigers with a big percentage boost, but this will be their 11th game. The Tigers will move them 4 points clear once more. Glenorchy almost pulling off a big upset when they came close to toppling Launceston in the other action. 51-48, that ended in favour of the Blues. Here, Clarence will suffer a blow to their finals hopes, which will certainly keep Lauderdale in particular very interested. They don't want to go losing too much percentage here, because that could yet come in to decide the top four at season's end. Probably more important to them than it is the Tigers. They've already got that pretty decisive percentage break over North Launceston. So they need to finish strong here. Clifford has been wonderful today, and he drives the Tigers inside 450, just over the head of Soupy Campbell though. Handball just eluding Lovell. He'll track it down. Handball back inside, just missed the intended target. Paprotny able to gather. Paprotny up the line, looking for a Loams, but taking front position there was Brereton. And his hands and knees got the handball out to Webb, couldn't quite bring it under his spell. Bird's kick charge down, diving on top Whitelaw, got a little high contact. Whitelaw ignores Borsboom and switches further across to Green. Green, wide for Howlett. Howlett goes looking for Harper inside. Safe hands there, and he swings them deep forward. Ryan couldn't quite bring it down. Alomes gathers the crumbs. Handball off. Crunched as he kicked there, and then at full back, a nice mark taken by Godomski. His kick finds Clifford. Clifford pokes one down the line, looking for Lovell, pitched in front of Beerley, out the back for Holmes, gathers, and in one motion brings it to boot, sends it half forward. It's a good mark taken there by Ryan. Under close attentions from Clifford, who gave him a little bit of afters, enough for the umpire to march him to the goal line. 50 metres paid there against Clifford, watching an otherwise pretty impressive day out for Lockie Clifford there. But it'll make a certainty of this goal for Keegan Ryan, drives it through, and the Roos draw first blood in the final term, kept the margin back to 51 points, and they will be determined to fight this one out to the end. Start of the day, 10 percentage points behind Lauderdale. Clarence currently in 4th, Lauderdale in 5th. They don't want to go dropping too much more percentage there. And it seems like a bit of a battle shaping between those two sides. 4 finals. They'll meet again in round 15 here. About a month's time. Blunston Arena. And that shapes as being one of the more defining games of the back half of the year in terms of finals makeup, you'd imagine. Here's Eddie Cole. Drew his man, then looped it over the top to Webb. Webb with the trusty left, driving them deep inside the forward 50. Spills out the back. College gathered it, but couldn't keep it in the field of play. Carter and Green. Green comes over the top, slaps it into space. Lovell first to the full, flicked the handball over his head, invited in Green, gave it to Tremaine. Tremaine balking one way, and got round Reardon for sending it up the line, and Ryan had enough of that, paid the mark. He's got some options in the corridor here, worth exploring, and he found Baxter Norton, who took it in stride, and then sent them deep inside 450 to Lovell. Couldn't quite take the mark. Opposed back there to Bastek, and they'll work it across the face to Donnelly. Ignores Godomski short, instead goes for a little more distance. A good kick there from Ben Donnelly, found Clifford on his own in the corridor. Handball to Cole. Cole chips one to Tompkinson. Lovell was his next option, but just lost his footing, so Tompkinson will drive them forward instead. Carter, the make the sandwich. Well, he wasn't paid the mark in the end. Has to play on Carter. Got a kick into the forward pocket, where it's just miscontrolled by College. And over the line for a throw in. Gardner won it down to Bealey. On the left, a high clearing kick. Reardon almost bringing it in. Keeps it in front of himself. Reardon trying to bustle through the contest. Couldn't get it through the legs of Harper. Flicked the handball to Holmes. Holmes' handball picked off by Tompkinson. He drives the Tigers deep inside the forward 50 from the side. And a big piece of that one. And the mark's been paid to Zeitzen. Clarence defenders didn't agree, but like he had pretty strong claims on the mark from my angle. This plane flies overhead. Only just overhead by the sounds of it, reverberating through the Blunston grandstand here as Zeitzen will go back. Good today, and a marking target for them inside that forward 50. To extend the lead to 57, he hangs it out to the right and misses. 14-10-94, the Tigers. Some dash out of defence. Ran his full measure there, Howlett. Found a target. And they work it up the line. Kick for Howard. Howard over the top for Preshaw. Preshaw ignored Howlett, went back outside instead. A deft little kick found Howlett. Howlett told to play on, wheels off onto his left, drives them in the Alomes direction. Spoiled away from him out of play. Umpire launches it back in. Tompkinson takes front spot, gathered the ball. Holmes took him down from behind. Norton's handball turned over. Donnelly able to clear defensive 50. Anderton coughed it up. Webb. Handball from Golding, and now Clifford. Negotiated pretty well there, though. The kick, a poor one. Probably should have been marked by Howard. In the end, he and Green fight over the same football, and that might lead to a turnover. Gardner got in there. Howard went back in. Paprotny gathered by Golding. Anderton dumped. Gardner trying to get the hands free. Eventually got it to Golding. Golding to Bastix. Manufactured a kick. Went through Paprotny. Gathered by Howard. Charged down from behind. The pressure immense for the Tigers. O'Neill cracking in now. And they force the stoppage. Clarence just couldn't take clean possession and get it out of there under siege. These Tigers flying in. Gardner worked it towards the boundary side and space. Webb having his jumper grab, fought through the contest, got a handball out in the Carter direction. Preshaw tapping it in front of himself, then ran into a teammate, Bealey. Zeitzen in there, and the umpire will have it. Tompkinson and Holmes, neither decisively. Preshaw was in there. Holmes took it away, found Baxter Norton. Norton with the left. Good under the high ball there, Ballspoon. Stood up under some pressure being applied by Griggs. Tremaine the target here, but wouldn't sit accommodatingly. Reardon lost his footing, tried to slap it from the deck, got back up, fought for the football. Clarence will take it away though. Cowie works him towards Ryan. And seen out of play ahead of him. 52 points the margin. Tigers, after a bit of a slow start to the contest, have been dominant throughout the afternoon, flexing their muscles as they look to get back to their best and launch an assault on the flag in the second half of the year. They and the Bombers, the clear 1 and 2 seeds at this point as it's kicking off behind the ball at the moment at the other end of the ground. Tompkinson and Holmes with an absolute dust on, punches being thrown, jumper punches, but two enormous men are just absolutely going at it here at the other end, miles off the ball. Others now getting involved. Emergency umpire at that end as action's going to resume at the other end of the ground here. Green and Gardner opposed, one down, slung off his kick. The play going on here, but nearly every eye at the ground is on the other end of the ground where it is still going. And the crowd are absolutely egging them on. No one able to extricate themselves. The size of the ball has grown. It was a fair one-on-one dust-up between Holmes and Tompkinson there, and probably the two biggest men on the ground. There was some force in that one. Anyway, Webb now on the wing as it kicks off again at the other end of the ground. Webb driving it forward, but will anyone even be interested in the football as it makes its way down there? They're also preoccupied. Somehow a free kick's been plucked, and Tompkinson, I think, will be the beneficiary. Well, they were both absolutely going at it. Don't know who started it. Tompkinson will get the free kick. The ball was played inside forward 50. Everyone was just too busy fighting in the goal square to go up at the footy. Umpire decided the best way was just pluck a free kick to Tompkinson, and he will let them know all about this. He kicks it through and he goes right up to Holmes. He gives him a whack and says, "I dare you to hit me back." Trying to goad another free kick. Oh boy, there's been plenty of spite in this game all afternoon. Tompkinson gets the Tigers 15th in the midst of all of it. They lead by 58 points. A fiery affair at Blunston Arena. Tompkinson and Holmes are going toe-to-toe like a super heavyweight boxing bout. They squared up. Perhaps more of an ice hockey fight even, just the way it was just jumper punches being thrown at each other. The crowd was certainly loving it. They were really getting involved. Back to the middle we go. Eddie Cole with a good tackle. Unable to get out of there, half up. And in the end, holding the ball's been paid. A free kick going the way of Cole. He'll launch from midfield. He sets it up. Oh, Paprotny came from behind, somehow pinched the ball. Superb Paprotny. And then he launches the Roos deep inside forward 50. Umpire spots a free. That's going against the Roos. Much the chagrin of Ryan, who thought he was going to be the beneficiary. All going the Tigers' way at the minute as Donnelly drops the chest mark, allows him Baxter Norton, steadies, he'll go for goal here, Baxter Norton, he bends it back and slots through a classy finish. Nicely done by Norton, realising he had the time and space to take the shot, just steadied himself, dissects the middle and gets Clarence's 7th of the afternoon. 52 points, still the margin. Holmes with plenty to say to the crowd. Some Kingborough faithful heavily involved in that as Holmes and Tompkinson again staring each other in the square, and the crowd continues to give as good as either of the players were giving each other. And Holmes just giving plenty back to the crowd at the moment, who I think are just suggesting he should look at the scoreboard. Well, back to the middle. The Roos trying to string together consecutive goals. Elijah Reardon. Lovell got the handball to Gardner. Gardner steers it forward to Cole. Pleasure spoiled from behind, but Cole came through and came away with the football. Set up kick finds O'Neill. Immediately bounces off onto his right. Zeitzen's there. Floats away from him and trickles out of play. Gardner. Carter, rather. Over the shoulder, the decision will go the way of Lovell. Who's a very good kick, Kieran Lovell. Chance for goal number 16. Kieran Lovell, one of the real stars of the competition. Tyler Carter still hungry for goals, making a searching lead, but a definite shot coming up here as Lovell steers it straight through the middle. A beautiful kick from Kieran Lovell. And they extend the lead back out to 58. And they continue to run up the score here. It's been an impressive showing. And the Tigers just re-establishing their premiership credentials here after a bit of a flat performance last week, losing that one to Lauderdale. They were beaten up in the north by probably their biggest rivals for the flag in the Northern Bombers. A couple of weeks before that, the Northern Bombers perhaps establishing themselves as the team to beat in recent weeks. And they're going to be clear in the top two after tonight. Who can work their way to home field advantage through the finals? Bealey through the contest, looking for Ryan. Ben Donnelly's been picking him off all day. Didn't complete that one though. Spilled to McCulloch. McCulloch round the corner. Golden couldn't quite complete the mark. Howlett was in there. Ryan following up. There's Whitelaw climbing on top of it. Bastick was claimed. Handball back over the top to Preshaw. Has Ryan. Finds him. Ryan. Oh no, it's not Ryan. It's Whitelaw who steadies. And he misses near side. 7-7 the Roos. So Ben Donnelly, a thumping kick out of defensive 50. We had two who could raffle it. In the end, McCulloch opted to go. Clifford on over the top, finds him. O'Neill presenting. And he is the next target. Now he's got College and Carter deep inside the forward 50. Didn't back himself to make the journey, so instead squared it across to Soapy Campbell. So the Roos flood back. And Reardon sneaks on the field. If they fancy the switch, they don't. They'll drive it inside towards Carter. He was caught too deep. And the relieving mark taken back there by Preshaw, who clears defensive 50. And working hard for him, Whitelaw makes the mark tight to the line. Chipped into the corridor, turned it over again here. The Tigers shut down though. Worked backwards, trying to take on Norton, found Clifford. Stands the kick up in the Campbell direction. He was crunched from behind and a good intercept mark was taken. They move it quickly over the head of Ryan though, straight to Bastick in the middle of the ground. Bastick just thumps it in deep. Plenty of Tigers here. One of them's Carter, spilled out the back. Tompkinson was there. Still got the numbers here for the Tigers, but the Roos will see it away. Reardon grabs the footy, slams it on the boot and kicks a wonderful goal. Elijah Reardon, a live wire as ever. And he makes something out of nothing there, being slung to the ground, somehow got boot to bowl and splits the middle for the Tigers 17th. And the lead now beyond 10 goals at 63 points. It's 25-7 in favour of Clarence at one stage. Since then, they now scored very heavily indeed. 105-24 from that point onwards, the halfway point of the first term. It's been emphatic from the Tigers, who go clear on top again by a game and percentage, albeit having played one more match than the Northern Bombers, who still have that up their sleeves. Clarence's percentage going to take another dip here, and that could prove pivotal later in the season. Wide kick in search of Lovell. Tracks it down ahead of McCulloch. Hesitates. Didn't have an option he liked, so just went backwards instead. Anderton receives and then sends him. Reardon! Oh, Elijah Reardon reels in a spectacular mark. Flew high, brought it down. He's good for a couple of them a season. He is pure entertainment, Elijah Reardon. Kicking a wonderful goal at one end of the field a moment ago and then bringing in that one. That kick, not so good from Gardner, straight out of play. Back, Green and Gardner. They work it towards the line. Gardner laying a tackle. Hacked off the deck, back inside. As the umpire calls for it once more. Green with the leap, Gardner with the hit out. Norton on top of it, but not in control of it. Another ball up. So we've ticked into red time in the final quarter here. 63-point lead. Very convincing stuff from the Tigers. They needed a bounce-back performance, and they've absolutely produced one here. The Roos, very competitive a week ago against the Northern Bombers, albeit in truly atrocious weather. And the calmer winds here today, they've been the ones blown away. Sliding in, bounced off the chest and spilt in favour of Clarence Borsboon. Didn't catch his kick at all right though. He's turned it over off the side of the boot, picked off there by Williams. Williams wheels and goes looking for Carter. Taken away from him by Howard. Cleared away by Hurd. Harper first to it. Flicked the handball back above his head cleverly because they had the spare man. Next kick though, more of a problem. Playing well from behind Finn Marshall. Kept it moving. Green just towed it forward off the deck. Working back hard, Will Clifford. Hands it over the top to Reardon. Has time to punch one into the middle of the ground, and that'll open things up. A lovely kick from Reardon. Making it work. Clifford just dancing around a defender. Spilt out the back. Griggs now has the chance to drive one inside forward 50, but it was intercepted back there. Borsboon looked it to Howard. Holmes surrounded by Tigers, but he got it and got his handball away. Reardon from behind. Did well to defend without conceding the free kick there, and Godomski, or Brower rather, can take it away. And he does that with a composed kick out to Eddie Golding, defensive side of the wing. Back into the corridor for Gardner. And Gardner to Lockie Clifford. Had the ball on a string this afternoon, Lockie Clifford. We're privy to stats during the game, but got to imagine he'll be right up there. He's been wonderful in that engine room for the Tigers today. Searching kick's going to fall short, and Green can intercept. Gets it moving quickly, sends it over the top. Towed forward, only Tigers out the back of this contest though. Donnelly an option. Opts against that, went back inside. A little curious that option, invites some danger. They've turned it over to Lovell. Lovell puts it over the top, just out in front of Tremaine. Can he track it down? No, Donnelly was there. And Reardon lays the shepherd, and Donnelly will coast out of defence. He's had that back 50 on lockdown all afternoon, Ben Donnelly. And Joey Brower now steadies and kicks up towards Campbell. Has two to beat. Flying in from the side was Preshaw. Trying to shrug the tackle. Harper got it back to Preshaw. Now Green. Green to Norton. And they work their way through to Howard. His kick just impacted a little. They're doing it under increased pressure here. The Tigers are wearing down. They're bearing down on them. And they force an intentional kick out of play. And that'll be insufficient intent. Max College to take the kick. Can't be too long left now. A 63-point lead. And College tight to the line here. It would take a spectacular kick. Geez, you can tell the difference when the advertising flicks over here to a bright or darker ad. It's getting quite dark here at Blunston at the moment. And quite late with these long quarters. There's College. From the pocket, floats it across the face, and Holmes parked behind, takes the intercept. They try and run and gun with a little handoff half-back. Anderton held up. Chip back inside and finds Preshaw. Preshaw just missed Norton with the kick, turned it straight over to College, who had Zeitzen on his own. And you just can't afford to turn the ball over in that area of the field when you're trying to launch off half-back, because you just get caught out with loose men everywhere, as has happened here. And Zeitzen can go back and kick the Tigers 18th. There's Ben Donnelly given a nice reception, so he leaves the field. He'll certainly be factoring in the votes today, I'd have thought. And a commanding display from him. As Zeitzen goes back to try and make it 69 points. Very nice from Zeitzen. He drives it through. And it's 18-10, 1-1-8. A lead now of 69 points over Clarence, 7-7-49. 25 minutes tick by in the final term. Well, they've won every quarter. Continue to extend their lead as the afternoon has worn on. After such a bright start, Clarence will be disappointed with this showing. We've flattened a little with Hanslow's injury. Fingers crossed for him. A nasty head knock, taken off to hospital in the halftime break. We hope that he's all right, but fortunately from that moment on, things just got worse and worse for the Roosters. That kick is straight down the throat of Will Clifford. And he spreads it wide over the top for Lockie Clifford. Has not stopped working. They have leather poisoning today, Lockie Clifford. Pitched that one just in front of College and O'Neill. Gardner slapped it down. Harper. Cole stooped in there, but clearing kick worked upfield, and the handball was a slick one to Preshaw. Preshaw sends it towards a Loams. That was late from Bastick. Loams off his mark and spreads it into the pocket, and it's again intercepted. This time Godomski was sliding across to take the relieving mark. He's got Brewer on his own at half-back. Game really just starting to go through the motions now, and the final siren surely not too far away. The Sting well and truly out of the contest. The result far beyond question. This one's just poked up the line to Gardner. Big Ruckman didn't want to kick. He's got Cole just peeling off his shoulder for him, gave it to him, and he sends him in the Carter direction. Out the back towards College. First to it, Fisher. Howard pumps it out of there. Floated over the head of the loose man, Gardner and Brewer. In the end, Green first to it. Slung off the ball by Donnelly. Good kick too from Donnelly. He found O'Neill, went back inside, missed Soupy Campbell though. Howlett couldn't control it. O'Neill tries to take on Anderton and Beerley and gets caught. That's holding the footy. Trying to slice between Beerley and Anderson, a pretty tough ask. That's a really poor kick. Straight to Marcus Gardner. Gardner finds Campbell. And he's got a loose man over the top in Cole and just prods it over to him. Cole's got another loose on over the top in College, and he in turn gives it to him. Like shelling peas there for the Tigers. And Max College can go back. And will kick after the siren. An emphatic siren at that. Just getting a little carried away there. Coming in on the siren. 69 points to the margin. What will it end as? Max College with the final kick of the afternoon from the pockets. Sends it straight through the middle. A lovely kick from College to end his afternoon on a high. And it ends 19-10, 124 the Tigers. Clarence 7-7-49. A dominant display from the ladder leaders who get their season back on track after a little bit of a wobble in the last couple of weeks. They were jumped early here by the Roos, who came firing out of the blocks. Kicked 4 of the first 5 goals of the game to lead by 18 points. From that moment onwards, it was complete domination by the Tigers. They wrestled back control of the midfield. They walked it out of there for much of the afternoon, and in the end walk away very convincing 75-point winners, a 93-point turnaround from where we were when it was looking a pretty tight and tough game early on. Not to beat, the Tigers utterly dominant. They extend their claws and win by 75 points. I've been Andrew calling the action from Blunston Arena for you this afternoon. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll be back next week with round 12 action, but from Blunston Arena, the Tigers far too strong for the Roos. It's bye for now.